The relationship we have with our mother is often the first emotional mirror we ever see. Before we learn language, before we understand logic, before we develop identity, we learn who we are through how we are treated by our mother. For many people, that relationship was loving, safe, and nurturing. But for millions of others, something was missing. Not always abuse, not always neglect in obvious ways. Sometimes it was emotional absence. Sometimes it was control instead of comfort. Sometimes it was love with conditions. And that invisible wound, that unspoken emotional injury, is what psychology calls the mother wound. The mother wound is not about blaming mothers. It is about understanding how unmet emotional needs shape the nervous system, the self-image, and future relationships. Because the most dangerous wounds are the ones we don't realize we're carrying. The mother wound forms when a child does not receive consistent emotional safety, validation, or attunement from their primary caregiver. And when that caregiver is the mother, the impact goes deeper, because biologically and psychologically, the mother is often the child's first source of emotional regulation. When a baby cries, the mother's response teaches the nervous system whether the world is safe or unsafe. When a child expresses emotion, the mother's reaction teaches whether feelings are acceptable or dangerous. Over time, the child learns, am I allowed to exist as I am, or must I change to be loved? This is where the wound begins. Some mothers are emotionally unavailable. They may provide food, clothing, and education, but not emotional presence. Others are emotionally inconsistent, loving one moment, distant or critical the next. Some mothers are controlling, overprotective, or intrusive, leaving no room for individuality. And some mothers are themselves wounded, carrying trauma they never healed. The child internalizes all of this, and instead of thinking, my mother couldn't meet my needs, the child thinks, there must be something wrong with me. This belief becomes the foundation of the mother wound. As the child grows, the wound does not disappear, it evolves. In adulthood, the mother wound often shows up as chronic people-pleasing, fear of abandonment, difficulty trusting love, emotional numbness, over-independence, perfectionism, anxiety in relationships, attraction to emotionally unavailable partners, deep shame without clear reason. Many adults with a mother wound feel emotionally hungry but don't know what they're hungry for. They crave validation but feel uncomfortable receiving it. They want closeness but fear being seen. They long for love but don't feel worthy of it. Psychologically, this happens because the nervous system learned early that love was unpredictable or conditional, so the body stays in survival mode, hypervigilant, alert, scanning for rejection, even in safe relationships. One of the most painful aspects of the mother wound is emotional self-abandonment. As children, we learn to suppress parts of ourselves to maintain connection. If expressing anger led to withdrawal, we learned to silence anger. If expressing sadness led to criticism, we learned to hide vulnerability. If being authentic led to rejection, we learned to perform. Over time, we disconnect from our real emotions. We become what others need us to be. This creates success, but not peace. Many high-achieving, intelligent, strong people carry a deep mother wound because strength became a survival strategy. Another hidden effect of the mother wound is attachment insecurity. Psychology identifies several attachment styles, but the mother wound is closely linked to anxious attachment and avoidant attachment. Anxiously attached individuals fear abandonment. They overgive, they overthink, they seek reassurance constantly. Avoidantly attached individuals fear dependence. They suppress emotions. They push love away. They value independence over intimacy. Both patterns are attempts to protect the same wound, the fear of not being enough. The mother wound also affects self-talk. The inner voice becomes critical, harsh, demanding. That voice often sounds like the mother's tone, even if the mother never intended harm. This is how trauma becomes internalized. But here is the most important truth. The mother wound can be healed, not by changing the past, not by forcing forgiveness, not by blaming or denying. Healing begins with awareness. The moment you name the wound, you take power away from it. The next step is reparenting. Reparenting is a psychological healing process where the adult self learns to provide the emotional safety that was missing in childhood. It means learning to validate your own emotions, set boundaries without guilt, care for your nervous system, offer compassion instead of criticism, choose relationships that feel safe, not familiar. This is not easy work because healing the mother wound often means grieving the childhood you didn't receive, grieving the version of love you needed but never got. And grief is uncomfortable, but grief is also freeing, because once you stop chasing love from the past, you become available for love in the present. Another powerful healing step is somatic awareness. The mother wound lives in the body, in tension, in shallow breathing, in chronic anxiety, in emotional shutdown. Healing requires reconnecting with the body through mindfulness, grounding, and emotional regulation. Not forcing positivity, not suppressing pain, but allowing yourself to feel safely. One of the hardest truths about the mother wound is this: you may spend your entire life trying to receive from others what only you can give yourself now. And when you finally stop searching outward, something shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop over-explaining. You stop abandoning yourself to be loved. You begin to choose peace over approval. This is emotional maturity. This is psychological healing. This is where the wound becomes wisdom. Many people fear that healing the mother wound means rejecting their mother. It does not. It means separating love from expectation. It means understanding that someone can love you and still be unable to meet your needs. That realization alone can break generational trauma. When you heal the mother wound, relationships change. You stop tolerating emotional neglect. You stop confusing intensity with intimacy. You stop repeating old patterns. You become grounded, present, whole, and perhaps most importantly, you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What happened to me?" That question changes everything, because you were never broken, you were adapting, and now you are allowed to heal.